Hey, what is going on, guys? Thanks for checking out this video on my sports Gematria. In this video, I'm going to go over the last day for the NBA regular season for Sunday, May 16th, 2021. I'm going to show you quick highlights of both sides, but it's going to be up to you to determine who you think will win based on the numbers. I encourage you to add additional information on top of this if needed for you to feel confident in your own pick. And if for some reason you're curious to know who I'm picking in these games, you'll have to join my Patreon. My picks are always in writing, underlined, and italicized. For more information on that, please read the description of this video. I wish you guys the best of luck in your picks today. Let's go ahead and get into the games. We got 15 games on the board. We have Celtics versus Knicks, Pacers versus Raptors, Hornets versus the Wizards, Suns and Spurs, Grizzlies, Warriors, Rockets, Hawks, Cavaliers versus the Nets, Magic versus the Sixers, Heat versus the Pistons, Bucks versus the Bulls, Mavericks versus the Timberwolves, Lakers versus the Pelicans, Clippers versus the Thunder, Nuggets versus the Trailblazers, and then Jazz versus the Kings. I'm not going to spend too much time on each game. 15 games here. I want to get through all 15 of them in a decent amount of time. And so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to hit highlights and go through it really quickly. So hopefully y'all can keep up. If not, I apologize. Rewatch the video, pause the video to stare at the numbers as much as you can, and don't hesitate to ask questions. So I have my daily numbers on this side, date numerology, Gregorian, Hebrew calendar. Whoa, game numbers on this side, went too crazy on that one. Away team up top, head to head in the middle, home team at the bottom. So first game, Celtics versus the Knicks. What jumped out at me real quickly was coach for the Celtics. It's a 636 regular season game with the loss. Celtics can become 36-36 for a season record. This is their 36th away game, Knicks 36th home game. So it's that 6-3-6, 3-6-3-6, 36-36. If we pop that in, 36 sums to 152. And Knicks could get their 215th all-time head-to-head win against the Celtics. 215, 152, anagrams of each other. It's also the fifth day of the ninth month on the Hebrew Civil, like 59. Knicks coach, he can sit on that 277 regular season with the win, which is the 59th prime number. But there's a lot of 16s on the board. Fifth day of the third month of the Hebrew religious, like 53, the 16th prime. It's the 136th day of the Gregorian Civil, the 16th triangular. It's the 16th day of May. Celtics could just go ahead and get their 16th road win to end the season. And they can sit on 35 losses for the season as their coach gets his 355th win regular season. 355, 35. Kind of look like each other. Knicks, they could get their 12th their 12th home loss as they become 1-2 head-to-head against the Celtics, like 12. But at the same time, Celtics can get their 21st road loss as Knicks become 2-1, like 21 head-to-head against the Celtics. So it goes either way. Pacers, Raptors, 102nd all-time head-to-head matchup between these two. Pacers, they can get their 39th loss for the season, or they can get their 21st road win. The reason why I marked those is because one of these two teams will become 2-1 head-to-head against the other for the season, like 21. 21 sums to 102, and it also sums to 39. So in the 102nd all-time head-to-head, the Pacers get their 39th loss or their 21st road win as they become 2-1 head-to-head against. If Raptors win and become 2-1, like 21, head-to-head against Pacers, and Pacers gets their 39th loss, Raptors would end their 6-game losing streak. And the number 21 is the 6th triangular number. The number 36 has a square root of 6, and it's the 36th home game for the Raptors, 36th away game for Pacers. Raptors, they could get their 17th home win. 5th day of the ninth month on the Hebrew Civil. 59, the 17th prime number. Pacers, they could get their 16th road loss. A lot of 16s on the board. 16th of May, 136th day, the 16th triangular, 5th day of the 3rd month on the Hebrew, 50 through the 16th prime. Let's keep it going. Hornets versus the Wizards. Wizards interesting. 251. Wizards coach, he can get his 251st regular season win. Or 521. Did I say 251? 521. Dyslexic. 521. 521. The 98th prime number. If we write that in, 98. 98 sums to 136, 64, 53, 136th day, 64th day on the Hebrew religious, 5th day of the 3rd month on the Hebrew religious, 53, 64. He can get his 521st regular season win, the 98th prime. Wizards would become 1-2 head-to-head against the Hornets, like 12. But on the Hornets side, they would fall 2-1, like 21. And it would go along with, we already know 21 sums to 39. Hornets can get their 39th loss as they get their 21st road loss to go with the 21. But not only that, 15-21. If they become 15-21 on the road with a loss, 15-21 has a square root of 39. But there's a lot of 16s on the board, as we've noted. 136, 16th triangular, 16th of May, 5-3 on the Hebrew, 50 through the 16th prime. Hornets can get their 16th road win. And it could be the Wizards that get their 39th loss for the season. So their record is the exact same. And I think it's going to determine, I think this also determines the seeding too for the East Coast. So definitely look into that. Let's keep it 16. If they do get their 16th road, Hornets coach you to get his 96th win regular season as a coach for Hornets. 16, if I can spell it correctly, sums to 96. Suns Spurs. Suns, they can sit on 21 losses for the season with the win as they become 2-1 head-to-head against the Spurs with the win. Spurs would get their 39th loss for the season. We know 21 sums to 39. We know 21 also sums to 102. Suns would get their 102nd all-time head-to-head win against the Spurs. It's their 72nd game, so every team plays 72. Suns 72nd, Spurs 72nd. 72 also sums to 102. So that 102 can go with the 21 and the 72. For Spurs, though, I mean, they can become 15-21 at home. We know that has a square root of 39. Suns, they can get their 22nd loss for the season, 22. Sums to 39 as well. It also sums to 165. It is the 16th of May, like 165, 16-5. So I gotta mark that. With that being said, I would have to mark the 22 for Spurs, getting their 22nd home loss potentially. Let's keep it going. Grizzlies, Warriors. 101st all-time game. Warriors coach, 547th regular season game. 547, the 101st prime number. 101, the 26th prime. Today with 26 date numerology. Either one of these teams can get their 39th win for the season. Either one of these teams can become 2-1 head-to-head against the other. We know 21 sums to 39. The Grizzlies coach, he can get his 73rd win or his 73rd loss. 73 is the 21st prime number. Either one of these teams can get their 6th win in a row. 21, the 6th triangular number. Does it just come down to Grizzlies being able to get their 21st road win as they become 2-1 and become that 3-9 and their his 73rd? Because Warriors can get their 12th home loss and become 1-2 on their side. So I wonder if that's what it comes down to. 26, date numerology on the Gregorian, 26 sums to 48. Both these teams, 72nd game for the season, 72. 72 sums to 48 as well. Grizzlies could just go ahead and get their 48th all-time head-to-head win against the Warriors. Tight race, tight game. I think this is a seeding placing game too as well for the play-in tournament. So definitely look into that. Rockets and the Hawks. Today has 26 date numerology on the Gregorian. 26 sums to 84. Hawks can get their 84th all-time head-to-head win against as they sweep the Rockets 2-0 like 20. The number 20 sums to 26. It also sums to 55. And Rockets can get their 55th loss as they sit on 17 wins. 5th day of the 9th month on the Hebrew Civil, 59 the 17th prime. Hawks coach, he would sit on 599 regular season losses, which kind of has that 5-9, 5-9, 599 look. But also, mathematically, 599 is the 109th prime number. And 17 sums to 109. 59, the 17th prime number. For Rockets, though, if they were going to win this game, I guess they can even the score 1-1 head-to-head against like an 11. The number 11 sums to 27. They would sit on 27 road losses as they do it. For 600. I guess the Hawks coach, he can just sit on 26 wins as a coach for Hawks on a day with 26 date numerology for the Gregorian. There's that. 18. 73, 46, 143, 35. I know 62 sums to 61. 61 the 18th prime. I don't know how strong that would be. 40, 32. They could become 8-3, 8-3, or 83, 83 in their coach's 38th game. Reflections of each other. Alright, let's keep it moving. Cavs and the Nets. Cavs could go ahead and sweep the Nets 3-0, like 30 for this season, if you can believe it. Hebrew Civil has 113 days left. 113 is the 30th prime number. And Cavs coach can get his 113th regular season win to go with. It says 83rd regular season game as a coach for the Cavs. 83 the 23rd prime. Cavs would get their 23rd win. What would stop this from happening would be it's both these teams' 72nd game for the season. 72 sums to 48. Today has 26 date numerology on the Gregorian. 26 sums to 48. And in their 72nd game, the Nets can get their 48th win for the season. That would stop it right there. Stop it in its tracks, potentially. Magic and the Sixers. Magic he could get his 293rd regular season win, the 62nd prime number. 62 date numerology on the Gregorian. It's the 130th all-time head-to-head matchup between these two teams. He would sit on 130 regular season losses as a coach for Magic with the win. The Sixers, they would sit on 48 wins for the season with the loss. We just talked about that number. 72nd game, 72nd game, 72 sums to 48. 26 date numerology on the Gregorian, 26 sums to 48. But the Sixers, they can get their 24th loss for the season as their coach sits on 991 regular season wins. Why that connects is 24 sums to 167. And you can probably guess it, 991 is the 167th prime. So there is that connection. But Sixers, they could get their 42nd regular season head-to-head win against the Magic as Magic gets their 26th road loss. 42 and 26 date numerology on the Gregorian. 26 sums to 84. Sixers would sit on 84 all-time head-to-head losses against the Magic as Sixers get their 46th all-time head-to-head win against the Magic. Today, the 136th day of the Gregorian. 46 sums to 136. Not so fast. So the Heat and the Pistons. Heat's playing the game right now. They're playing the Bucks. Let's see what it's looking like. So halftime, Heat is down by that many points, 19. I did pick the Bucks in this game, so we'll see if they come back, the Heat. and spoil my fun. But yeah, we'll wait for that game to decide. Anything can happen in the second half. Heat can come back and beat the Bucks. But I am looking for the Bucks to win this game. But that's why I have this crossed off, because they're still playing right now. I don't know if they're going to get their 40th win or their 32nd. Of course, I made my pick on what I would want it to happen, but it doesn't always have to go that way. So, not a whole lot for me to talk about here. I mean, it is the 62nd, or today, or the Sunday has 62 date numerology on the Gregorian. Pistons could get their 62nd all-time head-to-head win against the Heat, or Heat can get their 62nd regular season head-to-head win against the Pistons. Either one of these two teams is going to go 2-1 head-to-head against the other, like 21. And Pistons could get their 21st win for the season as they become 2-1 head-to-head against the Heat, like 21. Depending on what Heat's record is and what their away record is, we could start to look and see what potential outcomes. But I'm not going to do it right now. I apologize. We're not going to be able to do it in this video. But Pistons on a 4-game. They could get their 5th loss in a row. 5 sums to 42 and 21. And it could be Heat that becomes 2-1 head-to-head against Pistons today with 42 date numerology on the Gregorian. Bucks and Bulls, so same thing. Bucks playing the Heat. So looks like the Bucks could, if they could finish it off, if they don't blow a 19-point game. I've seen worse. We've seen worse this season. So that's why this is crossed off. We don't know yet, but we do know they're going to be on the road. So Bucks could get their 21st road win as they become 1-2, or Bulls would fall 2-1, like 21 head-to-head against with the loss. Bulls could get their 42nd loss for the season, 42 date numerology on the Gregorian. 132, 123. Is there anything like that on here? No. That looked interesting. If Bucks win, if they do finish off the Heat and become 46-25, today has 26 date numerology, and that could set them up to get their 26th loss potentially. So look out for that. And then they could get their 16th road loss, 136 day, 16th triangular, 5-3, 16th prime, 16th of May, yada yada. So if Bucks go ahead and finish off the Heat, maybe that 26 is in play against them. But if not, if Bucks coach, if they do win and he comes in with 162, he could get his 163rd win, because it is the 64th day on the Hebrew Religious. He would sit on that 64. That's why I picked him to win against the Heat. Or one of the reasons he would come in with 64 losses on the 64th day. But he would get a 62nd, but he could then get a 62nd against the Heat, and then he could get a 63rd on Sunday. 42 date numerology, 42 sums to 38, and 163 is the 38th prime, so there'll be that. So we'll just have to see. You have to wait and see what happens if Heat comes back, and you never know. Second half of the basketball, anything can happen. But Mavericks versus the Timberwolves. I want to say Mavericks just go ahead and get their 77th all-time head-to-head win against the Timberwolves in the last game of the season. Mavericks is so prone to the number 77. Anytime 77 comes up, you just got to look to the Mavs, just because of Donzek Luka, who wears the number 77. There's so many weird number coincidences that I've tracked with the Mavericks and the number 77 in the last 2 seasons on my Patreon. Some of the veterans that have been around since 2020 season, not including this last 2021 season, but last year's. Now that I've made some comments on the 77 and Mavericks and Luka. So I'll just like, okay, so they'll get their 77th. Last game of the season, they'll just get their 77th win. We'll just say that. Maybe, maybe not, but I blindly go with it. You don't have to, though. 42 date numerology, 42 sums to 74. Mavericks would also get their 74th regular season head-to-head win. They would get their 43rd win for the season. 42 sums to 74 and 43. For the Timberwolves coach, though, it's a trick. 16th win or 26th loss. 16th of May, 136th day, the 16th triangular, 26 date numerology. Can go either way, 16, 26. Flip a coin on that one. Timberwolves, I mean, they could go ahead and just get their first win head-to-head against the Mavericks, like 12. Mavericks would fall like 2-1, like 21, as they sit on 21 road wins for the season with the loss. That's potential. They could just sit on that 42. They don't have to go to 43, even though 42 sums to 43. It doesn't have to happen that way. Um, Timberwolves can get their 23rd win for the season as they sit on 23 home losses. It's 23. We talked about 23, I think, in the last game. 23 sums to 163. No, we talked about 163 in the last game. 23 sums to 53 and 163. It is the fifth day of the third month on the Hebrew religious. Probably should just put that in purple. And then go back over the other games that I've seen 23 in and mark it purple. But the 163, 38th prime number, today with 42 date numerology, 42 sums to 38. So, both sides of that. Lakers and Pelicans. Some of you have already seen my video that I made for the Lakers, asking the question, are the Los Angeles Lakers... Here, let's just go to it. Will the Los Angeles Lakers end their regular season on a 5-game winning streak? I asked the question on May 10th, 24 hours prior to them playing the New York Knicks. And I mapped out what it would look like if the Lakers were to beat the New York Knicks, Houston Rockets, the Pacers, and now we're going to be looking at the New Orleans Pelicans, who may spoil some fun for us potentially. Or maybe not, I don't know. Let's look at it. Lakers, as I talked about in that video, they could get their 42nd win for the season on 42 date numerology. We know LeBron James sums to 42. We know Lakers sums to 42. The number 5 sums to 42. They'd be getting their 5th win in a row for the season as they get their 42nd win. 5th win in a row. They would get their 21st win on the road for the season as they become 2-1, like 21 head-to-head against the Pelicans. And that's what I was kind of talking about in that video. Well, not the 21 part, but I was talking about the 5 and the 24. And 7, I think, what is 72 sums to 42, right? Yeah, 72 sums to 42. So both it's their 72nd game, 42nd win, 42 date numerology. Could just get their 5th win in a row. 5 sums to 42. LeBron James 42. Lakers 42. Could just be that. On the flip side, though, Pelicans, they could get their 26th all-time head-to-head win against the Lakers. Today does have 26 date numerology. It's also the 16th of May, 136th day of the Gregorian, the 16th triangular. 5th day of the third month on the Hebrew, 53 the 16th prime. Lakers can get their 16th road loss as Pelicans get their 26th all-time head-to-head win against the Lakers. I believe 31 sums to 53 as well. 31 does sum to 53. So on the 5th day of the third month, Lakers could just go ahead and get that 31st loss for the season. And it's there. So, could spoil the fun. I did talk about Lakers getting 5 wins in a row. I asked the question, 24 hours prior to the New York Knicks game on May 10th. So, we're finally here to see if it actually happens. We'll see if it happens. I'll see if it goes down. Clippers and Thunder. We've talked about this with another game. 72nd game for the Clippers of the season. 72nd game for the Thunder. 72 sums to 48. Clippers can get their 48th win for the season. 26 date numerology on the Gregorian. 26 sums to 48. 42 date numerology on the Gregorian. 42 sums to 142. Thunder would sit on 142 all-time head-to-head wins against the Clippers with the loss. Thunder, they're on a 9-game losing streak. They can get their 10th loss in a row. mean, I don't know what go in their favor. 143. I guess it would be Clippers sitting on that 21. Clippers can sit on 21 road wins with a loss as Thunder becomes 2-1 head-to-head against the Clippers. Or Clippers fall 2-1, excuse me, head-to-head against the Thunder, like 21. 139 is the 34th prime number. Thunder could get their 139th regular season head-to-head win against the Clippers. The 34th prime, 34 the ninth Fibonacci number, and that could be what would end their 9-game losing streak potentially. Also, Thunder could get their 22nd win for the season. I keep on forgetting this number. 22 sums to 165. And it sums to 42 date numerology. It is the 16th of May, 16/5. So I may have to go back and look at other number 22s in other games. But with that being said, as I'm talking about that, Clippers can get their 22nd road win. So I'll have to go back and look at other games with 22s. Timberwolves 22. Bulls get their 22nd home. I think I mentioned that. And their 42nd. But, yeah, so just keep an eye on for that as you're going through the games. Nuggets and Blazers. Same thing with the Nuggets. We've talked about the 72 and the 48. 72 sums to 48. Nuggets can get their 48th win in their 72nd game. Problem is, 72 also sums to 42. 42 date numerology on the Gregorian. Blazers can get their 42nd win for the season. So this connection 72-42, 72-48 goes either way. Blazers could get their 20th home win. 20 does sum to 26. 26 date numerology on the Gregorian. That's a potential. That's a possibility. Blazers coach, he did come into this game with the 516 regular season wins. It is May 16th, 5/16, like 516. So he could sit on that for the last game, or he could get his 402nd regular season win as a coach for Blazers, which looks like a 42 as they get that 42. And this would actually tie them if they go 42-30 and the Lakers go 42-30, then they're tied, and then I think the Blazers wins it because they beat them 2-1, beat the Lakers 2-1 for this season. Blazers, they could get their 17th home loss, 5th day of the 9th month on the Hebrew Civil, 59 the 17th prime number. It's a day leaving 113 left, like the 30th prime number. Nuggets could sweep Blazers 3-0, like 30 for the season. We know 23 sums to 53, 5th day of the 3rd month on the Hebrew, like 53. Could probably mark that purple. So, let's keep it going. Last game of the night. Jazz has a 21 conundrum. Their coach, you can sit on 231 regular season losses, the 21st triangular number, as Jazz get their 21st road win, or Jazz can get their 21st loss for the season as they fall 2-1 head-to-head against the Kings with the loss. It is a day leaving 229 left on the Gregorian, the 50th prime number. Kings coach, you can sit on 229 regular season losses with the win. But at the same time, he can sit on 62 wins as a coach for Kings with the loss. 62 date numerology on the Gregorian. Kings, they could get their 17th home win, 5th day of the 9th month on the Hebrew, 59 the 17th prime, or they can get that 20th loss. 20 sums to 26, 26 date numerology on the Gregorian as Jazz that sit on 20 losses for the season with the win. If Kings do lose, they would get their 41st loss for the season as they get their 118th all-time head-to-head loss against the Jazz. 41 sums to 118. At the same time, though, Kings could get their 32nd win for the season as they get their 85th regular season head-to-head win against the Jazz. 32 sums to 85. Also sums to 50, and that can go for the narrative of Kings coach sitting on that 229, the 50th prime. So there you have it. 15 games. Hopefully it wasn't too long of of a video. Hopefully, you guys got little tidbits here and there that may help you with some of these insights in these games. And as you can see, I was just kind of freestyling through it and just showing you what just popped out to me. And I even caught some new stuff as I was doing it with some numbers that connected. So I'm definitely going to be going back through them all and looking them over again before I write them out and post them up on my Patreon. But I wish you guys the best luck on your picks. You guys do what you need to do your due diligence, and hopefully you guys win every single game you play. Thanks for watching.